Hey there everyone, let's take a look at how best to build Titans for attrition game types and how to be as effective as possible with them. Let's get started. So we're mostly going to be looking at how best to control the game type as a Titan, how to score really well. We're not really going to be looking too much at the pilot versus pilot portion of this game type. I'm really just going to focus on, once you get your first Titan, what you need to really be looking to do within the game type. So, in my opinion, as a Titan, you need to really be focused on minion kills. I mean, Titan kills and pilot kills are gonna come naturally throughout the game, so I generally don't go out of my way looking for those or trying to chase those, but I will go out of my way trying to chase down grunts, trying to kill grunts, specters, whatever kind of minions I can find. My main reasoning behind that is that enemy pilots generally tend to spawn near enemy minions, or it may be vice versa. I'm not entirely sure which way is correct, but there's definitely a correlation there, and pilots tend to generally be in the vicinity of grunts. So if you run minion detector and you like to chase grunts a lot in this game type, then you're going to naturally find a lot of pilots anyways, so you don't have to worry about them specifically. Just worry about the grunts and then the pilots will come. At least that's what I've seen to have found in my time with the game type. Now, since we're going to want to be focusing on grunts and specters in this game type, let's try and build our Titan to be good at killing them first and foremost. So indirect fire weapons are a must. So the triple threat or the quad rocket are pretty much your go-tos. They have really big areas of effect, and they generally just don't require you to aim, with any kind of precision like you would with the arc cannon or the chain gun. You can just mash your face and just roll it all around your mouse or your controller, and just poop out some beach balls, and you can clear entire sections of the map without even trying. So I don't see any point in using a chain gun or an arc cannon. I mean, sure, they're good, they do their jobs great versus infantry kind of targets, but why bother when we have something like the triple threat? They can just, throw big beach balls and we don't have to even try. So let's just go with that, and we'll stick with that for my recommended loadout in this video. So I'm choosing to talk about the triple threat over the quad rocket pretty much only because the triple threat, for one, it's able to kill specters in one hit, whereas the quad rocket can take two or more depending on how close to them you're actually shooting. And second, the triple threat is actually a lot better at engaging enemy pilots who are ending up on roofs. The quad rocket just simply can't do that unless you're taking, rapid fire and you're praying that you're getting direct hits with it. Otherwise, the triple threat is just a lot better in that aspect, as well as still being really good versus Titans, being probably the best weapon versus grunts. So I like it. We're just going to talk about this one in particular. So here's our recommended class. It's going to be an Atlas with a triple threat using extended mags, cluster missile, electric smoke, dash quick charger, big punch, and for your pilot kit, it's really important that as a pilot you have minion detector on as well. Minion detector is, as I've stated before, it's going to allow you to know where minions are spawning on the map, and, it's going to give you a good idea of where enemy pilots are as well. So you can indirectly deal with pilots either on purpose or just kind of on accident, where just, you happen to kill some pilots when you're shooting at some grunts. Which does happen a lot, by the way. It happens very often, at least in my personal case. So first up, why Atlas? Well, we don't need all the mobility that Strider really provides to us. Grunts are going to be spawning all over the place, but they don't move very fast. So once they spawn, getting to them and then blowing them up is not really much of an issue. I don't really recommend Ogre, though, just because he's really slow and only has one dash that doesn't even send him very far. So, if you do end up in a hairy situation where a couple of pilots have jumped you, or, your couple of Titans are actually engaging you, as an Ogre with a triple threat, it's just not the best kind of situation. An Ogre with triple threat's a great build, don't get me wrong, but it's one that's really only meant for last Titan standing and not for attrition. You're gonna get destroyed if you're trying to do that. So, basically, I don't really see a point in either Ogre or Strider in this game type. I think Atlas is the way to go. He's the perfect balance between mobility and durability. So for that, plus the actual fact that he has damage core, is really all the reason that I need to be using him in attrition. Since the few times that we are going to be engaging in Titan versus Titan battles, having damage core ready from our all the grunts that we're killing is going to be invaluable, because it's going to allow us to deal with those Titans much faster, or force them to disengage us and run away. So that way, we're not ending up dying and giving up points to them. So, I mean, that's a whole other debate for another day. But basically, Atlas is just kind of the perfect middle ground in my opinion, and I think he's a great choice to get started with. Next up, why the triple threat? Well, I've already kind of gone over this. You know, you don't really have to aim much with it. You don't have to be particularly skilled with the weapon. Just look at your mini-map and watch and see where those little tiny red and orange dots are showing up and fire in their general direction. And everything's going to blow up and die and you're going to be just fine. It's also going to have the added benefit of being really good at engaging pilots that are on top of roofs. It's going to force them off of those roofs. It's going to force pilots to just move, and really expose themselves, so that way your teammates can deal with them, or, you know, sometimes you'll even deal with them if you get a lucky triple threat grenade to actually hit them. One tactic that you're going to be seeing me do a lot in these clips is that right before I shoot, I just tap my aim down sights button really quick, just to switch the orientation of my grenades from horizontal to vertical. That'll allow me to shoot them much farther and cover a lot more space, in my opinion, at least a lot, you know, farther away from me. If I'm engaging something close to me, I'll use the normal horizontal spread, but, you know, just be aware that you can switch, you know, which orientation the grenades are coming out, and the vertical spread does throw the grenades a whole lot further than the horizontal spread does. And I'm choosing extended mags simply because Minefield does not make any sense for this game type. You know, we're looking for grunt kills. I mean, we don't want to put a bunch of grenades down next to them and then the grunts don't happen to run over them and blow them up, and, you know, that's just a waste of time. So, because Minefield is not really useful, therefore extended mags. We have no other choice, so let's just use extended mags. No problem. Next up, let's talk about the cluster missile. I basically think that this is also kind of its only choice within its category as well. The slaved warheads and the multi-target missile systems are completely 100% useless to us because they cannot be free-fired, they cannot be fired at grunts, they can only be fired at titans after a lock-on. And we simply just don't care about that whatsoever in Attrition with this particular loadout. So that only leaves us with the other option being rocket salvo, which takes time to fire. You know, you have to wait for all 12 missiles to shoot out, and you have to hit multiple missiles, you know, per minion in order to actually kill them in some cases, especially with Spectres. So really, cluster missile just lets you fire and forget. You're guaranteed to kill pretty much everything within, you know, a large radius of it. For free, no problem. So let's just go with the cluster missile. You know, it's simple and easy, and we can't really possibly have any problems with it whatsoever. Plus, it's still extremely competent versus pilots and titans as well. There's not really any situation within our effective range where it's bad. Dash Quick Charger and Big Punch should pretty much be, you know, they're kind of staples for Atlas at this point, just because they allow your mobility to be so immense. You know, they allow you to move around at the speed of Strider, basically. You know, if you're alternating between dash and Big Punch, you are just as fast as a Strider who is moving around with dashes only. That's confirmed. You can check a previous video on my channel, and you can see the proof for yourself if you don't believe me. So that's pretty much the only reason I'm recommending that, but I mean, the mobility is just so good with Big Punch and Dash Quick Charger that there's no reason not to use it. There's no other kit for your Titans that's going to serve you better in Attrition. You know, nuclear ejection, I mean, that's not really a big deal. You know, maybe that'll get you a couple of grunt kills when you eject, so what? You know, who cares about that? That's not a big deal. So, you know, fast autoloader is interesting. It lets you get more cluster missiles out there. That's definitely cool. If you wanted to go that route, then by all means do so, but I don't think that you're going to actually need cluster missiles any faster than they already regenerate. So why bother? Plus, Big Punch, it's going to allow you to, it's going to make crushing enemy grunts much easier. So if you see a group of them, you don't have to waste a dash to go over them. You can just Big Punch, and don't Big Punch like and actually aim at one of them to actually kill them with your punch. Just Big Punch the air, and you know you're going to accelerate forward very quickly, and just use all that momentum to run everything over. I mean, at least that's how I use it. As for Electric Smoke, which I accidentally glossed over, well, I only really use that because it helps me get enemy pilots off my back. You know, they're going to be riding me quite a lot in Attrition game types, so, you know, I don't really want to have to deal with that. So it's just my little convenience crutch perk. Vortex Shield is, you know, as always, a fine choice. You know, you can absorb missiles and regular gunfire from grunts and shoot it back at them. Same thing applies to Titans and pilots as well, so great for defending yourself. Electric Smoke, I just kind of like it as my crutch, so that's why I choose it and recommend it. But Vortex Shield is also viable if that's just not something that you like to run. Anyways, that's about all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something new. If you like this video, then like it. If you dislike it, then dislike it. If you want to see more like this, then subscribe. And Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.